Hi guys, this morning I'm working on a 2002 Honda Civic, and customer complains that the vehicle will shut off while driven. Also, I checked the oil and it's barely touching it. Barely touching. Checking the engine lighters on, and also the oil light will flicker. It'll come in and then it will disappear. So the sensor is not sensing enough oil going through. That's why it's activating the oil pressure sensor light. So we're gonna add oil to the vehicle and see if that will take care of that. Also, upon scanning the system, this is the engine code that I found, p1259 VTEC system failure. We're gonna keep that for the record and see what's happening with that as well. All right, so after driven the vehicle for a couple of hours, had added the engine oil, but the vehicle still has the check engine light on and the same code, and I don't feel the VTEC engaging or being activated while driving the vehicle. So at this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to access the VTEC, which is located right in the back. So I'm going to remove the airbox and probably this airbox as well here on the top of the vehicle. All right, I got the airbox out. Only 3 bolts, one here, 2 and 3. They're located right here on the bottom. 1, and the other one on the top. 2, and right down there. 3. And I can see here, this is almost the end of winter time. I see some rodent building house here for the winter. So it's probably the one of the rodents. Sounds as close to the harness, the wiring harness, to our sensor here. I believe there could be also a scenario of a mice chewing on cables or eating the cables. So that could also be the situation here. Right after further inspection, also look at that inside our filter. No wonder this vehicle doesn't have any power while running on the highway. The filter box is filled with grass and leaves from rodent nest. So next we're going to remove our airbox filter, our box cover filter, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts if yours isn't broken. So 6 bolts altogether, and there's a connector here for your air sensor, and then there's going to be another 8mm bolt attaching to the throttle body. So this box actually had another 2 10mm bolts, one here and the other one here to remove it, and then you just pull out on this lower box, airbox portion. Now we have access to our sensor. We're gonna take them out, and the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take them out, check if the screen on the back of this sensor is clean, free of debris or dirt from the oil. If it's clogged, then we're gonna have to clean it, install it back, and test drive the vehicle. That's our first thing before even testing this solenoid actuator. If that doesn't work, then we're gonna test the solenoid. But if it's dirty, there's no point of testing it. So we're gonna clean it and install it back. I have removed the sensor That's the spot where it's installed. I have it right here with me. It only has three bolts. 3 bolts, and then you can get it out. 2 connectors. And this is the screen that I'm talking about. Let's take a closer look. And that screen, to me, doesn't look dirty. So my suspect is a different scenario now, because it was low on oil. I ran it with the oil, I tap it out with oil all the way to the level, but the light's still coming on. After I raise the light, it keeps coming on. My screen is clean, it's not dirty. So now I'm gonna do a test. I'm gonna see if the valve moves up and down, and for that I'm just gonna activate it. I'm just gonna provide some power here to the to our plug right here. All we need is ground and power. So we're going to ground this right here. All right, this is my setup. I have a Power Pro, which is connects to the battery. So now one of the Power Pro ends has a alligator clip that I can clamp into the body of the sensor. Now that's grounded. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide some power to the side of the sensor, which is only one lead. So see if I hear anything. So after removing our VTEC solenoid assembly, what we're going to do, we're going to clean it up. We're going to take it apart. There are 3 bolts on top of it, which holds the solenoid on top of it. 3 bolts. We're going to remove it. We have an old gasket. Always change your gasket, especially if you haven't changed it for long periods of time. These gaskets tend to leak, and the pressure build up in there is not going to be the same, so you can have a solenoid failure, a pressure solenoid failure in there. Also, we're going to change our gasket. Somebody has been putting some silicone around it before. We're going to change it for a new one. Once you got that, we're going to remove our oil pressure switch, which is this one right here. That was installed over here. We're going to remove it. We're going to clean it. I'm going to use some brake cleaner to clean it here, and then I'm going to put some oil. I have already done the valve. The valve here inside has a spring on the bottom. I have already cleaned everything with brake cleaner and then air pressure to get all the debris out. And then I put some new oil in there, new fluid, so the way it gets lubricated when we're going to start the vehicle. Same here, we're going to add a little bit of oil on that, which is not required on this one, the solenoid, because that solenoid only opens when there's enough pressure on the oil system to allow oil come here. We're going to put our valve here inside. With that, there's a hole inside the valve. When we want that valve facing, let's see if you can focus here. I'd like to align that one. There is a little bit more. There is a line right there. That hole right there is aligned with the top hole. It's not required, but that's how I like to set it up. So we got our new kit, new gasket kit right here. This is our gasket parts. I like to do this before even I know I'm getting power to this and it's activating the solenoid. That's all it is to it. It's just the solenoid. what could go wrong would be the solenoid or the valve inside worn out and allowing oil pressure to move into different parts that shouldn't be allowed to. So I'm just gonna put new gasket, clean it out real good, put new gasket, install it back, and we're gonna check if that fixes our issue. Our sensor is in there, installed. So we're gonna put everything back, the airbox, and we're gonna go for a test drive. We'll see the results after the test drive. I have checked the continuity between the the connector here. There's two pins inside the pressure switch of the VTEC assembly. All you do is you just put the multimeter on ohms, and that you touch both pins separately at the same time, and you should have continuity. It just means that that sensor has the complete circuit. It's not broken inside. So we're gonna finish installing, and we're gonna go for a test drive. Alright, I'm driving the vehicle, and it seems that the problem has gone. The check engine light went off, hasn't come back either, and I can feel a bigger difference on performance, especially like around 60 to 70 miles per hour. Before I felt like the vehicle didn't have any power, like it was struggling to reach that speed. Now I feel the vehicle running faster. I can reach speeds faster and a better performance.